Hi, so it's currently 3 a.m. and I've just been sat up drawing a little bit and I've been playing a game on my phone and stroking my cat because she's really cute. And, now I've just decided to make a YouTube video because, well, I finished college the other day and I don't know if I made a video about this, did I? I don't know, can't remember. But anyway, I finished college the other day, had my last exam. I don't know what I'm going to get on my results. I'm no, I haven't got any years. I'm pretty certain about that. Um, but I might have realistically C's. I'd be happy with B's. Like obviously, I wouldn't send it back and say remark if I got a B. I probably wouldn't do that for a C neither. But I wouldn't be very happy with a D, to be honest. So yeah. But I don't know. Like I was just. It's so weird not having like a big responsibility. Like now I know that I've got to like get a job and do some other things that adults do, and it's just weird. Like I've had this sort of weight on my shoulders for the last 2 years of getting A levels, and like I've done all I can do now. I've done my exams, and I keep like the first few days I was like I should be revising, and like I couldn't get that far out of my head, and then it's like when I realised I don't have any revision, I don't have to do anything. Well, obviously I have to do things, but I don't have to revise. I don't have to put loads of effort in. It's just a weird feeling. It's nice in a way. It's nice to have a break, but I don't want to get into the habit of doing this. Like I've been watching the World Cup and I've been drawing and I've been reading a bit, so I've been trying to do some things. And I also talked to myself a lot earlier because I had a free house, so I was just talking to myself. Interestingly, I was talking to myself about like I don't know. It was about like life, but it was like a little bit deeper. It was like I was using the things that I've learned in philosophy, and I was just trying to make sense of things. And yeah, like so I was just I don't know. I do it sometimes. Like I walk around the house and I just talk to myself. Sometimes I like pace backwards and forwards in the room in there or in here, and then I'll just like think things out and try and piece things together a little bit, and I like doing that. It's nice to do that without getting stuck in this like existential trap. There's something called existential obsessive thought disorder, and I'm pretty sure I had that last year and the year before, and maybe the year before that. I can't quite remember. But I was watching a Dr. Phil video, and one of the guests on there, it came up on the screen, and I was like, because one of the guests had suffered from it in the past, and I was like, okay, what's that? That sounds really familiar. So I went online, I did some googling, and it's basically getting caught up on the big questions of life and having extreme anxiety about it, like the meaning of life, and often coming to the conclusion that everything's meaningless, but then being unsure about that conclusion being concrete, and it's basically just a pit of nihilism and everything, and that's pretty much what I was experiencing for quite a long time until I started watching Jordan Peterson and also talk to some of my college teachers at college. Um, but yeah, it's like I think probably the main influence there is Jordan Peterson because he seems to have an existential obsession in that he likes questioning the meaning of life, but he comes to positive conclusions almost. So it's like I don't know, it's like different. It's not just trivial neither. It's not like you sit and you think about the origins of the universe and it can be interesting. It's like when you're in that sort of mindset, it takes over your entire life, and I don't, I don't know. Like it's nice that there's an actual label out there that explains it, but yeah, pretty weird. started smoking again as well, which isn't great, but because I play football, but I haven't been for like 7 weeks because I've had an injured ankle. Yeah, this video is going to be a little bit all over the place because I don't really know what to talk about. But yeah, I like talking to myself. It like helps me figure things out, and sometimes I don't know. I think it's interesting that we're having an experience and that we're people and that we are social creatures. But I find it interesting watching people by themselves and like in comparison to watching people with other people. So you might, so like you can watch YouTube videos, and it's interesting to see how people interact with other people differently to how they interact when they're by themselves. And this was one of the questions I used to get quite caught up on. Probably starting about 4 years ago or something. Like who am I? Am I the person? Am I most myself when I'm with other people, or am I my true self when I'm by myself? And it's like there's all these different sides to my personality that come out in different social situations and when I'm by myself, and I don't know. But then I started doing a little bit of research into Carl Jung, and he said that we have a persona and we can only ever really access our true self when we're by ourselves. I think Nietzsche also had this idea as well, and I think Jung was actually influenced by Nietzsche, but I'm not super sure about that. But I think that's the case. So I've just found that educating myself on things has helped to solve some of the questions, because like when you're asking the questions about the meaning of life and other topics like that whereby there isn't really an answer to it and you're expecting an answer, it's probably because you're lacking knowledge. Like you're making an assumption before asking the question, what is the meaning of life, that there is going to be a definitive answer to that. Or at least that's what I was assuming. And I was trying to look for a definitive answer which was non-existent. And that was because I didn't educate myself enough and I didn't understand that there wasn't an ultimate meaning to life, if that makes sense. And maybe there is an ultimate meaning to life, but if there is, it's one we can't comprehend. And thinking about it too much literally will probably drive you insane. So by learning things and by looking at people's ideas about the world and just trying to broaden your own knowledge, you sort of change the questions that you ask about things. You can't ask a massive question like that without delving into the details of life itself, because life is a multifaceted multifaceted experience. Is faceted a word? I don't know. Experience, and there's a whole different there's loads of different aspects to life, and we can't just condense it down to one simple meaning without being extremely reductionist. I guess we can argue that the meaning of life is subjective, but even that's reducing life down to just subjectivity, because I don't think it is all just subjective, because even though all experience is phenomenological, meaning we can't help but experience things through our senses and we can't experience the noumenal world, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's all there is, that that's the only meaning to life, because well, we can argue that the meaning of life is also interwoven with other people. It's social, it's not just individual. And if you're going to talk about collective groups of people, then you automatically go into the objective realm. It's no longer just subjective, it's subjective plus other people's subjective experiences, plus their interaction with the objects and people in the objective world. So life isn't just subjective, and the meaning of life isn't just subjective. I think you could probably argue that the meaning of your life, or the meaning of my life, or the meaning of anyone's life is subjective, in that I don't know, I don't even know if I feel completely comfortable saying that. But yeah, I need to not think about the meaning of life too much, because there is no answer. I don't think. It's an answer that I can't know right now. Uh, yeah, so I used to ask that question a lot but get really caught up on it. And it's still probably an interesting question just to ponder philosophically, even if it's not really going to take me anywhere. Yeah. I've got two cats in here. They don't like each other. I don't really know what to talk about, so I might just end it off there because I feel like I've talked enough. I don't really feel like talking anymore. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have a feeling, so I'm gonna follow it. Okay, thank you for watching this random video with no meaning, but it has a little bit of meaning depending on whether you want to assign it meaning.